Hello, YNABers. My name is Jesse Meekum. This is Hello, YNABers. My name is Jesse Meekum, and this is podcast number 361 for YNAB, where we teach you 4 rules to help you stop living paycheck to paycheck, get out of debt, and save more money. Who doesn't want more of that? We're back to the basics, people. Rule 1, give every dollar a job. Rule 2, embrace your true expenses. The in-laws are coming. Rule 3, roll with the punches. And to elaborate on that rule, we're going to stick with our afternoon analogy because we all understand the fact that time is finite. Well, we say we do. We still procrastinate like crazy. I think it's still instructive. You have a free afternoon ahead of you. Free. So you decided, according to your priorities, you'll weed the garden another 10 minutes before you head out for that run. We're weeding, we're running, we're eating. This is good. Then you realize, not a moment too late, but this is just how your mind works, that it's your turn to carpool the kids and their friends to baseball practice. So should you stick with your plan and exercise? Or should you change plans and use that hour to drive all over town picking up the 9-year-olds? So you promised this, right? The fact is we change our plans all the time, even in the course of a single day. Gosh, even a single hour sometimes. When we wake up in the morning, it's difficult to know exactly even what the afternoon will bring. So we always are making adjustments. Everyone's doing that. You don't give yourself enough credit for all the adjusting you do. That's very wise. Now, hopefully we're not doing this thoughtlessly. Like, you know when you have to sit down to write something or do something hard, but instead you spend 25 minutes organizing your desk? That's the thoughtless one. But we want to not be thoughtless. We want to be intentional. So we want to keep our time aligned with our priorities: running, eating, weeding, and that novel. I mentioned those in the prior episodes. We really don't give this a second thought when we do it all the time with time. But imagine budgeting your time and then you actually couldn't change, right? So you might decide that you're going to go out for coffee with a friend 2 Thursdays from now at 9:30 in the morning. The day actually arrives and your youngest child is home sick from school. What's more important to you? Is it coffee with a friend or caring for your sick child? Now, we use that example on purpose to make it easy for you. Of course, you change your plans. But really, this whole premise is absurd, right? I mean, you don't know. You can't know exactly what you're going to do hour by hour or weeks, especially not months from now. Your finances work the exact same way. Despite what everyone believes, that it's all just cookie cutter and there's normal months every month, you can and you should, of course, set broad outlines for your money. And that's with those priorities, you know, those clarifying of goals. But when the details change, and they always do, you must change with them. Sometimes even the priorities change. It doesn't mean you failed at budgeting. It's just normal. Last year, I told myself I would learn Japanese and become moderately conversant in it. And then I realized it's impossible to learn, so I'm not doing it. And I switched to woodworking, which is also quite difficult for me because I'm inept with woodworking. But I'm seeing improvement, so I'm sticking with it. That was a situation where my priority changed, though I did have an overarching priority of doing something mentally hard, just not so hard that I felt completely exhausted, which is what Japanese did to me. So, now, if you were really doing that situation where you were budgeting your time and then you couldn't change it, that would just be patently absurd. But we treat our budgets as if they're that way. We treat traditional budgets, at least, not what we teach here, that they say, oh, no, you can't change. They tell us to set an amount of money for an expense, and you're cheating if you change it. And I just saw, gosh, this is risky. So a little while ago, the college football national championships were on, and we may have a dog in the fight because of our Alabama heritage. And I spoke about in-laws last week, and specifically I'm speaking about my mother-in-law here. We do not talk about that game for a little while. The wound is open and very new, and any comment, even of the most just tiniest of comments, is salt in the wound. So we don't touch it. However, I would say if you thought it was cheating for the Clemson or the Alabama coach to make adjustments during halftime in response to the first half's play, that's crazy. It's the opposite. A really, really good coach makes those key adjustments in order to have their team come out on top. So anyone that would do otherwise would be absolutely insane. You'd be screaming at the television. Rigid budgets like that, where you've adopted that mentality where it's cheating to change at the half or any other time, they break. Rigid budgets break. So you instead, and this is the rule, you roll with the punches. When you've budgeted $40 for gifts and you spent it on a friend, but then you realize you completely forgot your mother's birthday, what are you going to do? Not get your mother a gift? You already did that last year. It wouldn't be right to do it again. So, of course not. Of course not. You adjust. You take some money from entertainment or clothing or whatever's most sensible. I call it the pilfer categories. Whatever categories you can pilfer from, you go there first and you make some adjustments. So it works. This is the way with everything. You have a massive car repair that puts you over budget, even though you did set aside some money because you listened to last week's episode. The money has to come from somewhere, whether that's next summer's vacation or this month's new shoes. That's totally up to you, but the idea is still the exact same. Rule 3, you roll with the punches, you adjust, you adapt, breathe, and then be confident that you are still absolutely right on track and moving forward. Until next time, follow YNAB's 4 rules and you will win financially. You've never budgeted like this.